Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I'm unboxing the Lenovo YOGA Slim 7X for 2024. This laptop retails for $1,199 US. I'll include a link in the description, and in full disclosure, this was furnished to me by the manufacturer for review purposes. Now, with that out of the way, what makes the Slim 7X so unique, of course, is that it has the same processor as Microsoft's Surface Pro 11, the Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite 12-core CPU. It is ARM-based, and what that means is that this machine does support, of course, Copilot AI features, just like the Surface Pro 11, and there really aren't that many machines right now that do support it. It also means we can expect fantastic battery life, solid overall performance, but more importantly, a two-in-one form factor that you just don't get from the Surface Pro. And Lenovo has managed to do all of this at what I perceive to be a very affordable price point. So besides that Snapdragon X Elite processor, you're getting 16 gigs of RAM, a 0.5 terabyte NVMe SSD, and then in addition to that, I think the star of the show is really the 14.5-inch OLED touchscreen, 3K resolution, color accuracy that should be best in class based on at least the marketing that I've seen. And then also, you're getting a 70 watt-hour battery, which for a machine that weighs less than 3 pounds is pretty much unheard of. So it seems like Lenovo has really gone out of their way to make sure that this is going to be one of the best, if not the best option in the marketplace, at least at the inception of this laptop's, or I should say this entire space's footprint. Because remember, we have an offering from Samsung right now, we have an offering from HP, we have an offering from Asus. So there's a little bit of a race to see who can make the best overall Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite laptop in 2024. First thing I will tell you right out of the box is that the fit and finish on this is excellent. It's a really nice looking machine, feels really solid, build quality is not in question at all. I like the color, and again, this is a traditional two-in-one, so there's a lot. I think this is going to make a lot of people happy if it lives up to the expectation. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of this garbage, and again, it seems like a good job has been done by Lenovo in limiting the plastic and waste associated with manufacturing. Our power brick right here, which, let's see what the wattage is on it. I'm going to go ahead and just pull this off, but it is a 65 watt, and that's all you really need. Type-C charger, and this whole machine is really riding on USB 4 ports, and that's pretty much what you're going to find with the majority of the Snapdragon X Elite experiences, because after all, this is not an Intel-based machine like years past. But let me go ahead and open this up. And I haven't gone over the ports, but I will in a moment. You can see we have a high gloss finish on this. But I'm expecting some really good things out of this because, again, build quality seems to be top-notch. We've got that Lenovo ThinkPad keyboard, no numpad, not a big deal for something that really is meant, in my opinion, to be a one-size-fits-all that everyone is going to enjoy using. You have a really large trackpad here. It is not haptic. It does feature a physical click. And before I actually try to power this on, full HD, so 1080p webcams, you do have a privacy shutter, just a really good-looking machine that is, I don't know, it just seems to check all the boxes if this is what you're after. So you've got a privacy switch right there for the webcam, your power button, one of the two USB 4 ports. That means full functioning, power delivery 3.1, as well as DisplayPort 1.4 out. So really nice to have those on board. Nothing on the front of the machine. And on the other side, two more USB-C 4 ports. So impressive stuff. Minimal, no question about it, but powerful because USB 4 really does bring that to the table. Now, keep in mind, Lenovo is not calling these USB 4 yet because USB 4, I think the certification is in July, so right around the corner. Now, let's go ahead and power this thing on and get a little bit of an experience with it. You can see that is as far as the lid goes. Very little wobble on this at all. So if that's any indication of fit and finish, again, things look good. Speaker grills right here. It's just a nice machine, folks. So let's go ahead and power it on. And hopefully I have a charge. If I don't, I will just plug it in. And it looks like it needs to be plugged in. Now, hopefully, battery life is going to live up to the tests I've seen thus far, which are pretty amazing. I mean, from what I have seen, we're looking at something around, as I try to plug this in, well over 10 hours. In fact, if what you're coming from is made by Apple, so if you're looking at, a MacBook Air, something like that, this seems to outperform that on every single benchmark that exists. In addition to that, when you're using this off the charger, your efficiency drop-off is not much, just like Apple. So for anyone who's looking for something that can directly compete with Apple, and they're tired of the Apple ecosystem, this is pretty much the lineup of laptops for you, in my opinion, because you're getting a better display than anything that Apple has to offer, not only because it's an OLED, but 90 hertz, 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and color fidelity that is going to make video editing, photo editing, all of those things a breeze. You're going to have true color representation. Also, while I really like the Surface Pro 11, personally, I would much rather have a 14.5-inch 3K panel than the smaller one that you'll find in the Surface Pro. So for me, this already is checking boxes, and the weight difference between this and the Surface Pro really isn't significant. Granted, it's almost a pound heavier, but you have your keyboard, you have a very large trackpad. So it just, again, has everything I think that anyone is going to be looking for in what has always been imagined for Ultrabooks. Also, Lenovo is advertising that in 15 minutes of charging, you can yield 3 hours of use with this machine. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up. And I was hoping that would quiet her, but she's going to keep going. So I'm going to let this charge up, and I will be back soon with my first update. But again, if you're looking for great battery life, a fantastic display, and overall really solid build quality, that's another thing I want to point out. I've said build quality multiple times, and that's because the other machines from the competing manufacturers that have rolled out Snapdragon X Elite offerings here at their inception, really the infancy of this push by all manufacturers now to make ARM a real legitimate option in the Windows space and take on Apple directly, none of them have build quality like this. None of them have a keyboard like this. And you could even go as far as saying this may have the best display out of all of them as well. So there's a lot to like here. I'm really excited about it because, again, for anyone who's looking for a work-driven or also content consumption device that's going to do everything and travel really light, charge really light, and not suffer on the performance side of things. Granted, we'll still be going through emulation for x86 applications, but the Surface Pro has already proven that we've come a really long way. And don't forget the Copilot. Not my favorite part of this, but still something that is going to change the way we compute, so to speak, over time. No question about it. But again, excited to share this with all of you, and stay tuned for my first update on it because it will be coming as soon as this thing is charged up and ready for prime time. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.